Hey everybody, it's Kendall Anise and welcome to More Than Just a Movie. MT Jams, where Leroy and I break down classic black films. Now today is a classic. Like we've done some classic films like Love Jones and Love and Basketball, Boomerang, Coming to America. Those are classic black films. But baby, this one is a classic black film for your behind. We are doing Sparkle, the original 1976 version of Sparkle. Let's get it, Leroy. All right, we are talking about the movie Sparkle, starring the amazing, my childhood girl, Irene Cara. She was on Sparkle. So first, let's just start. Sparkle, flying all over here. Sorry about that. Real life live. It just flew right over. All right, but Sparkle. Now, 1976, this came out. And this was after Irene Cara was the star of the show. She played Sparkle, right? But this is the thing about Irene Cara. She was doing Broadway. I remember Ain't Misbehaving. I saw that Nell Carter was in that. I remember she started on Broadway. Then she went to do a couple of TV roles and she got Sparkle, which was her first movie. Now, if you are Leroy and I's age, around that 50 mark, you already know Irene Cara was a woman. She was on, remember, Leroy, she was on What's Happening. She was on a lot of, remember when Rerun was trying to marry her so she wouldn't get deported?
No, I remember that one. Honestly, I remember her from two things. She was on the cast of Fame.
And yep,
I remember.
She sang
Flashdance, and I remember her with Michael Jackson, of course. You know,
yeah.
she wrote the song with Michael Jackson. Those are the things there. I don't remember that episode.
The Man in the Mirror side.
Oh, okay. No, but I thought, okay. I was thinking, I don't know why I was thinking Irene. They look alike. They actually really look alike, her and Irene Cara.
But Irene Cara was the one she was on. So anybody know their history about the show, What's Happening with Rerun? Rerun was it Rerun or Dwayne? Wait, it was Rerun. No.
Dwayne. Was it Dwayne?
It was Dwayne when she was trying to stay in the country and she was about to get deported. So they did a fake marriage so she can stay in the country. I remember that one. But in the 70s and 80s, Irene Cara was that girl. We're going to talk about Sparkle, but with Irene Cara, we stopped seeing her for a while. And she was blacklisted. So she later went on to do Fame as she played Coco. And then with Flashdance, you know, the song.
What was she blackballed for?
Let me tell you. So with Flashdance, that was a mega hit in the 80s. And the song was all over the place and Irene Cara sang it. Well, they weren't trying to give her money, her residuals, or her props. So she sued them and won. And of course, when you sue high entities and you win, then you're blacklisted, which is so unfair. Run her money. Just give her her money.
Give me my money.
The song Flashdance, Oh What a Feeling. Come on now. I can't even play it because, you know, I don't own the rights. But that song was everywhere. It was a phenomenal worldwide hit. And everybody was making money off of her song but her. So she sued for $10 million, and then I think she got like $1.5 million. And she was blacklisted in the industry. She was working on like different albums and different things like that, and she did little things, but her trajectory was really to be up here because Irene Cara was everything. So she played Sparkle. So let's talk about Sparkle, and then Leroy, we're going to do it. So Sparkle, what is Sparkle? Y'all remember when Whitney Houston was on the remake, right? And Tika Sumpter and Jordan Sparks, they played in the remake in the 2000s. But this was the original. And Whitney Houston was adamant for years, even because this is the last movie before she died, but years even before that, when Whitney was up here, she wanted to do this movie. This was always Whitney Houston's favorite movie, even in her autobiographies and different things, even in the Bobby Brown story on BET. He's like, what you doing watching Sparkle? Like, everybody knew that Whitney's favorite movie was Sparkle. And I watched Sparkle for the first time, even though it came out in 76. I was like 5 years old, but I didn't see it for the first time until I was like 20, 21, and fell in love with it. It's made dark, you know, the picture reels and the photography and the cinematography and the lighting wasn't what it is now. So it's like a dark, if you really look at it, and I don't mean dark like in spirit, I mean a dark made movie, because the lighting was horrible in the movie, but that's my movie. So in the 1950s Sparkle, Irene Cara, sister Lonette McKee, Dolores, and DeJuan Smith are three musically gifted sisters whose mother, Effie, supports them by working as a maid. Encouraged by Sparkle's boyfriend Styx, who's played by Philip Michael Thomas, the three form a singing group and become a sensation at a local nightclub. However, tensions rise when Sister is appointed the group's lead singer and begins dating Satin. Remember that? An abusive drug dealing pimp. So when you think about that, you like, what? But Sister, a lot of people said my cousin used to look like her, Lonette McKee. She was on everything back then too. So Sister was the lead singer. And then of course, Sister goes through her drug, addiction, and she ends up passing away. And then Sparkle steps up, and that's Irene Cara's show. And I was trying to look to see what the budget was. If you see it, Leroy, I didn't really see it.
No, I wrote it down. Check this out. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. The budget for that movie was $1 million.
That's insane.
Yeah, we think it's insane now.
Yeah.
But think about it. Back in 1976, a black cast.
But listen, I saw that because I have it right here, and I was like, that can't be right.
No.
It made $4 million. It made $4 million.
It made $4 million.
Yeah.
And they considered that to be a disappointment back then, but you tripled your money. You tripled the money.
You sure did.
You tripled the money that you gave for the budget.
You did.
But check this out. I wrote this down as a because I knew we would talk about the budget and the box office for the remake. The remake's budget was $14 million.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
And it made $24.6 million.
That's crazy. But that is not, but think about it. That's really not that impressive compared to the original. Because think about it. The original, we know Irene Cara, Lonette McKee, we know Philip Michael Thomas, we know Mary Alice, but we ain't know them like that. You get what I'm saying? They were all breakout stars. So to trust that and giving them $1 million is huger than trusting Whitney Houston. Come on, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Whitney is going to get that budget. If she had to give it herself, she was going to get that budget. Whitney could have put up the $14 million on her own self.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So that's impressive, but not really compared to. And you have Curtis Mayfield as
Do you think she put up her own money, part of her own money in that?
Part of it, because she was really invested. Like that had always been her favorite movie. And Deborah Chase did that. Deborah Chase Martin did that movie. And Whitney was trying to get that movie done by any means necessary for years. But look at God. Right before she passed away, it came out. Ain't that something? I think it came out after she passed away.
But you got to think about that too. Mm-hmm. She was probably the only big name in that cast, because Dark Luke It was probably maybe the second one. Nobody really knew or knows who Tika Sumpter is. Jordan Sparks had a little bit of a name. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't even know the young lady that played sister.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who she was.
I can't think of her name.
So yeah, I can't think of her name either. But Whitney was going to be the
She
draw for
had a
that.
name though. She has a name. I can't think of. She's
Really?
been on a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Matter of fact, is she the one? Because her name looked familiar. Is she the one that played? She played Dr. King's wife in Selma.
Yes, exactly.
Is that that's her?
She played it in you talking about with
No, it was Selma.
Yeah.
It was Selma.
Yeah.
And she played in a couple other movies too. She played in the what's that what they call it, Men in Black International. She was in that. I forgot the other movie, but
her name is Carmen. Yeah, I can't think. She played in a lot of
Mojo or something like that is her last name. She has an African last name. But like you were saying, Irene Cara, Philip Michael Thomas, because Miami Vice didn't come along until the 80s. Philip Michael Thomas, probably the biggest name.
Dorian Hayward. Remember, he wasn't like, none of them were big names. Think about it, this was 1976. Mary Alice was in movies like earlier than that.
Maybe I'm thinking maybe Lynette McKee, because she had been in a lot of movies.
Yeah, her and Mary Alice. So they were the bigger names.
Right.
Because Irene Cara was just a couple of things on TV, but she was big on Broadway.
Right.
And then the sister, I still never seen her on nothing. The other sister, the brown skin sister.
Is that DeJuan Smith?
DeJuan Smith. Like, I hadn't seen her on a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the cast, both of those casts were, not necessarily big names. Like I said, I think Whitney was going to be the draw. She probably had to be in the movie to get the green light, like Denzel.
But she wanted, yeah.
With the Great Debaters. So plus, like you said, she loved the movie, so she was looking to be in the movie herself anyway, too, probably. So,
but that was Lynette McKee's debut movie as well.
She was on
TV, like that was her, and I'll talk about that in some of the trivia. Yeah, that was her first movie. That was 1976.
Oh, I thought she had been in.
No, that's her movie. I have it right here. That's
I got you. But if I'm thinking of the same one,
about Vanetta McGee, probably people get Lynette McKee and Vanetta McGee mixed up all the time. They've been doing this since I was little.
Okay, so who's Vanetta McKee then?
Look her up and see. Look her up right now and see if you can see. You have it. You can look at it. So Vanetta McGee was big at that time, and I remember when I was little, people used to always get them mixed up. But that was Lynette McKee's first movie. So Vanetta McGee, she was in stuff like, because they look similar and the names are kind of similar. Let me see what some of the stuff she was in. So she was in Shaft in Africa. She was in Hammer. She was in Detroit 9000, which was 1973. She was in a lot of blaxploitation films. She was in Blackula. She was in all of those types of movies, Vanetta McGee. So she was in a lot of those movies in the back of the day, the black movies. So maybe you're getting mixed up.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about, and maybe that's her that was in Uptown Saturday Night. She was in several movies with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier.
But this was first. This was her first movie.
Then that's not her then.
Yeah.
Lynette McKee, she played, I'm thinking she was in the movie with Richard Pryor, Which Way Is Up. That's her.
I think you're talking about Vanetta McGee. Because that's not her.
She was in Spike Lee's movie as well.
Yeah, that was, that was after. But now that's, now she played Malcolm X's mom. Yeah, that's Lynette McKee.
Right, correct, right. That's her.
Sparkle. Yeah. But
okay, so the other one is the one that played in Uptown Saturday Night and played in Let's Do It Again with Sidney Poitier and Mike and Bill Cosby.
Yes, you're getting them
It must
mixed
be the
up.
album. Yeah, gotcha.
She was Annetta McGee was in Bustin' Loose and all of that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
When you said that, I knew what you, because when I was little, I remember them talking about them, and they used to get them mixed up because, unfortunately, let's stereotype, light skin, certain hair texture, pretty.
Oh, they looked alike.
But they don't really. If you look at them, they really don't look alike. They're just, those are the commonalities that they have. They were beautiful women. They were light complected, and they had the same texture, wave pattern hair. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of people did end in their names, McGee and McKee. Right. So people would get them mixed up all the time. Right. So as soon as you said that, I knew that's what you were talking about. Because people used to do it all the time. And I didn't even think about that just now until you were adamant. I was like, no, he talking about Vonetta McGee. Because now she was in the movies. She was in all them blaxploitation movies.
Right.
Girl, she was in all of them. But Lynette McKee, who played Sister, this was her first movie. This was her first debut. So also, let me just read some more trivia. And I'm glad we're talking about that because somebody else I'm sure somebody else got that mixed up. Because I just remember, it's so interesting what you remember when you were little. And I remember somewhere my mom and them, and they were breaking it down, talking about, no, they're not, the same, but people were, because Lynette McGee, so Vonette, it was two, Vonette. So that's why. But, and I want to talk about the Whitney again. So, Whitney Houston, this was Whitney Houston's favorite movie. She would later, of course, do the remake in 2012. Her original plan, this is the thing, and I remember Whitney talking about this. Her original plan was to have Aaliyah as Sparkle, because Whitney was like already wanting to have it made for years. So think about that time gap. But of course, Aaliyah passed away before she could do it. But Aaliyah was going to play Sparkle. The film eventually ended up getting made a decade later. And then that's when they had Jordin Sparks. So think about how long Whitney was doing it and how it literally, she filmed it before she passed. She wasn't even alive to see it happen.
I'm sitting here trying to think of, I'm still trying to see it, but I don't know if you think Aaliyah could have pulled that off?
I definitely think she would have pulled it off. I definitely, without a doubt. Playing Sparkle, without a doubt. She went to performing arts school and all of that. She knew how to act and transform. I definitely think she could. I
get that, but I'm thinking about the songs of Sparkle. That wasn't Aaliyah.
See, then you haven't heard the real Aaliyah. You heard her produce songs. If you ever heard her sing live and sing song, go do your homework and look at that.
Like, but no, I'm thinking about the stump. I'm thinking about the songs that Aaliyah had out.
That's what I'm saying. You can't go by that. That was a production.
What can? Yes, you can. No, wait a minute. Hold on, Kendall. Hold on. No, stop. Listen. No, because you won't let me talk. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is look at Jordin Sparks' songs and you look at Aaliyah's songs. Jordin Sparks and the way she sang fit more Sparkle than Aaliyah and the way she sang. I get it. I love Aaliyah, love her music. But when I think of the character Sparkle being a songwriter and the story, Aaliyah didn't fit that mold. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. I think Jordin Sparks did a great job. I think she fit that kind of mold, so to speak, or well, if you will.
All right, can I speak now? Because I wasn't cutting you off. I really wasn't. We were having a conversation. You start yelling, and you scared me a little bit. All right, so this is the thing. When I said, all I simply said is I said, you can't tell by the song. You was like, hold up. And what I'm saying is you can't tell by her songs because her songs were produced. She wasn't supposed to be the belt out singer, but that doesn't mean she couldn't sing. That's why I said, do your homework, like look up her voice. Like those were produced songs. They wanted her to flow on the tracks like that. She could sing. She was on Star Search singing. Like she can really sing. And I actually think that she would have been a better selection than Jordin Sparks. That's my personal opinion. I think Aaliyah would have been a better choice. I really do. I think that Whitney was on to something when she wanted Aaliyah, because we know the songs back and forth. They're not meant to be belted out. But if you heard her sing some of the other songs in her voice and her personality, I do. I think giving me something she could feel, she would have gave the sexiness, she would have gave everything. I didn't feel it with Jordin Sparks. That wasn't a good movie to me.
But Jordin Sparkle wasn't the lead on giving him something he can feel.
No.
The sister was.
This feeling. That she sang that part. No, she
was. Mm-hmm. But sister was, and that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I mean, and I wouldn't know because I don't remember seeing Aaliyah on Star Search, and the only thing that I have seen Aaliyah in has been the music, and then the roles that she did play, which was what's the movie she played with Jet Li? Romeo Must Die. Romeo Must Die, playing that character that she played. And then there was the other movie that was like what was a drama movie? I forgot what it was, where she played like this
like that vampire-ish.
Yeah, it was like it was a vampire, something that was in the title of it, but I can't remember. So I wouldn't, like you were saying, to look it up, I wouldn't even know what to look up, because the only thing I know is the music that she put out there. I don't know any concert. I don't know about the concerts that she's done. I've never gone to any of her concerts or anything like that. And I would think that at her concerts, people are going to want to hear One in a Million. They're going to want to hear all of those songs, and not something of her, something different outside of that, because that's the image that she put out there.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, you know how people record people just singing, like singing other songs, or in the studio and you just singing a different song. Those are the things that I saw. Or old footage of her when she was younger singing, different things like that. And I think the song and the image that she had came out, that guy, I don't even speak his name no more, that guy did, he had a certain flow in the way that he produced her to kind of deepen her voice. If your girl, even though he didn't do that song, but like to make it deeper. But I just think aesthetically, it was something that I can see Irene Cara and Aaliyah. I can see that.
Really?
Sparks, I didn't really like. I watched the remake, and you know me, I'll watch movies over and over and over and over and over again. I'll read books over and over. If it moves me, I seen the entire Sparkle one time at the movies and was
really. I mean,
the new.
I mean, because I've watched the original maybe once or twice, but even the remake, if it happens to come on, I may or may not watch. It's not something I'm going to watch over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Because I like Derek Luke, even my boy Mike Epps was in it. Omari, what's my boy's name? Harvey. Yeah, him. Him in it. So they had, actually, when you think about it, I'm sitting there thinking about it. Well, they weren't the big names when that was made, though, because Omari Harvey wasn't Ghost back then.
He wasn't no Ghost back
then. He wasn't Ghost back then. But he had actually played in several movies, though.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
But Mike Epps, Mike Epps was still kind of.
Mike Epps will leave him. Like, I'm not like a.
Have you watched his new? And I know we get a little bit get off a little bit. Yeah, have you watched the Upshaws? You don't like that?
I do like it, but I'm not a huge. I mean, I like it because I like Kim Fields.
Mm.
Out of everybody in there, I like Kim. I just like Kim Fields. I support her. Mike Epps, he's not that funny to me. It's not. He's just, I don't know. I'm not like a big fan. Like Mike Epps comes on concert, I'm not gonna watch it.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna go see it. Like Wanda Sykes, I know it's her show. She created it. I watch it. I think it's a good show. But I'm here for Kim Fields. That's just I'm not. So I couldn't even remember Mike Epps until you said that. I was like, oh, he was in Sparkle. Like the original I've seen, I don't even know how many times, 10, 20, 30 over the years. I'm not sure. Like I will watch that. That one, I mean, Jordan Sparks, love Jordan Sparks, you know, no diss to her or anybody in the cast. Actually, you know, I loved every time Whitney was on stage. I will tell you that. And maybe I've seen it twice, maybe not just once, because I think I saw it on TV as well as a movie. But I don't know. I can see Aaliyah doing it though. But that's why we have this show, because we're not the same person. So we, you know, we got difference of an opinion, and some people gonna be like, probably agree with you.
Or we gonna ask the birthday girl when she comes on. She like the original, or she.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna ask her that. Yeah.
See which one. And since she said this was her favorite movie, I'm assuming it's probably gonna be the original. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
You know that and that. But for sure. All right. So let's see what other trivia we got. Let's see. The film was released merely 5 years before the premiere of Dreamgirls. Broadway music.
Really?
Yep. So 5 years before that.
Okay. Now that's another one too. We got to put on our list. The original Dreamgirls.
But that wasn't a movie though.
Really?
It was just in Broadway.
It was just the Broadway. Okay. It was okay. It was just the Broadway play. Okay, and then they made the movie out of that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was never a movie.
Gotcha.
And then when I'm looking at this and thinking about with this, so with Sparkle, and you think about wait a minute, let me just make sure right here. Let me look at this real quick. So I don't even know if I want to go there we'll save the music for last, because that soundtrack for that original is everything. Yeah. And the first time I saw the movie was in Vegas, when I lived in Vegas. I was 20 years old, and my cousin lived in Vegas, and that's the one they said that she reminds them of Lynette McKee, and she used to get that a lot. And I remember, she's older than I am. She's in her 60s now. And I remember I was at her house and I wanted to watch it, and she was putting it on, or it came on. And I remember that was the first time. I don't even know if my cousin remembers this. It's the first time that I ever watched it. And I was like 20, and I heard about it. I don't know why. I never saw it as a teenager or anything. You know, stuff ain't popping on in the movies like it is now, so you can catch anything. But I remember loving it. And then after that, I've seen it a million times.
Well, you got to remember back then, you know, movies weren't, you figure, you said you were 20, so that was what? That was 91?
Oh, yeah.
That was 91. So movies, I mean, we were going to what? We were going to Arrows. Was that Arrows? We might have been going to Arrows or Hollywood. I don't know. Yeah, that was, I mean, we really weren't even, and maybe even in the 80s, you didn't, it wasn't a heavy rotation of movies. There weren't as many cable stations to run a movie. And and more than likely, they weren't running a Sparkle because of the very thing that you said. It wasn't it was a black movie, but it wasn't a blockbuster.
Right.
And to them, considered something that they wanted to show all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so that might have been why you hadn't seen it until then, you know.
It wasn't it was BET then, but it wasn't, they were just showing videos. It wasn't BET what people know now, like television shows, movies.
Right. That's all they show. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So cable wasn't the cable that it is today, where you got like 900 channels, and you might watch 50 out of the 900.
Exactly.
And they playing the same movies all the time.
Exactly. So when you think about, all right, so check this out. So Mary Alice, who played the mother, Effie, was only 35 when the movie
wow.
was released, and only 13 years older than Lynette McKee, who was 22 at the time. Just 2 years older than DeJuan Smith, who played Dolores, and of course 18 years older than Irene Cara, who was only 17 years old when she played Sparkle.
Oh wow, okay.
She was only 17. So it's so interesting when you think about Sparkle. So tell me, so let's talk about some of the things that happened, and then we're going to bring my guest on. So I'm going to do, because I have something for the birthday girl. So I'm going to take me off and just talk about the movie real quick, and I'll be right back.
Oh, all right. Because I'm wondering how old you gave the age bracket or age range. You gave the ages of Irene Cara, 17, Lynette McKee, and DeJuan Smith and Mary Alice. But I'm wondering how old Philip Michael Thomas was. So maybe when you come back, we can see if they gave the age of Philip Michael Thomas, because most folks will probably know him from Miami Vice. I don't know if that was necessarily his breakout show, so to speak, or whatever. Sparkle seemed to be, I don't know if that was his first role on Sparkle or not, but that'll be interesting. I'm gonna have to ask her when she comes back about that. So that's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, the original Sparkle with Irene Cara and Lynette McKee and DeJuan Smith and Mary Alice. It's one of those, she started off with being this is the true definition of a Black classic movie.
Yes.
When I think about Sparkle, I also think about, what's the movie that had Diane Carroll in it and James Earl Jones?
That's my favorite. I got that DVD, honey. That I said, we got to do that. Remember we talked about that last year. We didn't do it.
Yeah, but I think of those two. Though you talk about Black classic movies, to me, that's what Sparkle is. That's what Claudine is. Those are those movies that kind of set the pace or the groundwork for what we see as Black classic movies, what we want to call Black classic movies these days, because these movies weren't readily out. They didn't. I know they didn't get the exposure that a lot of movies get these days, especially being in the movie theaters. Sparkle probably played in less than 100 theaters across the country.
Probably so.
You know what I'm saying? Back in 1976.
And the one thing, like I was saying earlier, go back and watch it. So everybody, if you haven't seen Sparkle, definitely see it. If it has been 1976, some of y'all wasn't even thought of or born.
Dude, we were just, I was 7. I was 7 years old. So half these folks, they were Sparkle. You mean the one with Whitney Houston? Shoot, exactly. They weren't even. Think about it. They weren't 2012. Yeah, they were maybe. Most of the folks that watch this are probably were born in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they might have been teenagers when the remake came out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. And then you think about, and then like when you watch it, like you said, I didn't even think about that. It probably was only like 100 movie theaters, if that. But to me in 1976 with this all Black cast, to give them $1 million, to me that seems like a lot when it was not Black exploitation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The foolery of it, but it was really a meaty story. It was dealing with drug abuse, it was dealing with addiction, it was dealing with domestic violence, but it was also dealing with your dream and finding your dreams. Right. And let's talk about how Irene Cara and Styx, I should say Sparkle and Styx, when he really believed in her dream. You know what I mean? You can step out and do your own thing.
In that trivia, did it give you how old Philip Michael Thomas was?
Let me see.
Because I know you gave Irene Cara and the rest of them, but did it say how old he was in this? And was this his first movie too?
That I didn't see. Let me find out. Well, let's see in Sparkle, because right now he's 73. Let's see, in Sparkle. So we could do the math. Let's see. He was... I'm trying to think. It's loading. Let's see. So what is this? We are in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And 1976 was 40, what years ago? 48 years ago.
Almost, yeah, about 44, 45. No, 47. Is that 47?
Yeah. He was like 19, I think. He was like 18, 19 years old.
Okay. Okay, so him and Irene Cara were around the same, actually around the same age. Okay.
Something like that. No, I'm sorry. He was probably like 20 something.
Okay. Okay.
Because if he's 73 now, she's 63.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. So he was 10 years younger than her. He was like 28.
Yeah, he was in his 20s, yeah, because my mom's the same.
I just had
to
think
my mom is a couple years older than him.
That math. He was 70. Yeah, because she was 60. She's 63 now. He was 73. She was 17 then. So I guess 27 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay. So he was in his oldest, and he was in his late 20s. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's still, that's still young. That's saying a lot with him.
Right.
And doing that. So we got the birthday girl on. Maybe we can talk about some of the different scenes, but we're definitely going to talk about that soundtrack. That soundtrack to this day is everything. Come on. And Vogue later did, giving him something he could feel, but I like the other song. What can I do? Boom, boom, with this feeling. Hooked on your love, sweet. I love all of those songs in there, and that's what caught my attention when I first saw it. All right. So we're going to bring Basine on. We were going to have her at the end just to do the wrap up. But guess what? Today is her birthday. So the last year we did it on her birthday, and today is no different. Basine, are you there? Are you
yes,
there?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We don't see you. We just hear you. Put your camera on, sis.
Yeah, I was moving my phone around. Sorry.
Happy
birthday!
Hey, y'all. I got you see the lights? Happy birthday!
Well, thank you.
I got my disco ball. Can you see?
You need the you need the horns, Kendall.
There you go. Got the bar. It might not show like I needed to show.
It's my day to shine.
It's your day to shine. All right. All right, Basine, welcome to Reviews and News. Me and Leroy on here acting like brother and sister as we always do, fussing. That's how we do. That's how you know it's brother and sister, because then we can just love the next. We just keep on going like it ain't nothing. All right, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on my special day.
I'm gonna put
you enjoying your birthday?
Second birthday, Basine. Woo woo!
I'm flipping that. 52. I mean 25. I'm flipping it back around. 25.
I know that's right.
I'm gonna act like I'm 25. May not be in my bone 25, but I'm gonna act like I'm 25.
All right, so let's talk about Sparkle. I don't know if you actually, if you heard some of it, but Leroy wanted to pose a question to you, but we'll do that in a moment just to see what you thought about, and just hold on to it. He was asking what you thought about the remake and which one you liked better, but we're going to save that for a minute. Let's talk about Sparkle. Why is Sparkle one of your favorite movies?
I think early on when I started watching TV, I just enjoyed seeing our people on TV in positive light. And I think it started with Soul Train. So anything that kind of incorporated music in it grasped my attention. And so Car Wash, I think, was one of the first movies that I saw that had the music.
We gotta do that. I forgot about it.
Man, we gotta do the black classics as you call
Yes,
it. We gotta
black classic cinema.
That's for real. Yeah.
So when I saw Sparkle, and back in the day, like I'm saying, late 70s, early 80s, you had those cinema movies at noon on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Soul Train first, and then it was the noon time that you had that featured movie or film being debuted. So even during the summertime, if I knew something that we had TV Guide back then, youngsters don't know nothing about looking at the TV Guide. They got the guide on the
really
screen now. So I really took a liking to Sparkle because of the cast. And I remember Irene Cara was in Fame. So I was familiar with her.
Oh, this was before Fame. This was before Fame.
No. I know. But I'm going to say I was familiar with her after she did Sparkle. But me seeing her as a black person, black woman on TV, I was just captivated by her. And Philip Michael Thomas ain't bad on the eyes either. But Irene Cara was the one that when I saw her, I was like, I'm watching this. And by the time it got to the scene when they met, I was all in. Yeah. I was all in.
Yeah, Styx was easy on the eye. You know, they made a beautiful looking couple. Like they look beautiful together. Yeah. So when we talked about, and it's interesting too, because then you had Sister and what was his name? What was his name? Sister and what was his name? Dorian's name. I can't even think right now.
You know what? For some reason, I think his name may have been Leroy.
No, it was something else. Wait, it was that's on the tip of my tongue. Wait, I gotta find it right now because that's gonna drive me crazy. What was his name? Give me 1 second because I came out of that.
Yeah,
wasn't Philip Michael Thomas?
And his picture came up first.
That was Styx. And then you had
weren't Philip Michael Thomas and Irene Cara on the cover of Jet for
yes they were, and they were looking beautiful. I remember that.
Yeah,
they were looking beautiful. Were we Satin? That was what I couldn't think.
Satin.
So you had
that Satin or
no. Satin was the one, the abusive one. That wasn't her first boyfriend. Right.
Oh, not the first one, but that was her boyfriend afterwards when she left the good one.
Yes, the good one. We got to find the good one name.
Yeah. Oh, what was his name?
So they switched.
Matter of fact, he's done some stuff too.
Yeah, his name.
He's been acting.
Dorian. Dorian. That's Dorian Harewood. Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to think of his name. If you're watching live in the comments, let us know. I cannot think of his name. I'm gonna find out in a second. Levi, not Leroy. Levi.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I was there with the L. I was there with the L.
Sister and Levi.
I've been brainstorming all day, Kendall.
Yeah, because that was in the remake. That was Omari Hardwick's character, Levi.
Yeah.
You have he was a good guy, but he wasn't as streetwise.
The money. It was the money. She was really looking for that money and money and street smart.
She was looking for the.
Well, he was street smart, but she was looking for the money.
Yeah,
she was looking for the glitz.
Stature. There you go. The glitz. There you go. Yep, that stature, because she was looking for a come up. Because with Levi, he loved her, she loved him. He was making it happen, but he wasn't really doing what he needed to do. He was corny. He was cornier, like we were talking last week. And she wanted somebody. She wanted somebody who was going, who had a little more pull in the industry. But she came out of the fire and went into the fire pan.
Yeah.
When it came with that.
Oh, this phone.
No, go ahead. I'll let you get it together. But no, I took her off from it. She's trying to fix her camera. But that's the funny thing, because So what you think about? So let me ask you, Leroy. So what do you think about that? What do you think about, you know, you want something in your career, right? As a man, and it's not happening fast enough. And she kind of sees somebody who got the fast money, the fast car, you know, he looked like he got stature in the community, and she goes with him and leaves true love to go for the come up. That's how bad she wanted it, and it ended up killing her and costing her.
Well, I think that's nothing new. I think men and women sometimes think the grass is always greener on the other side, but the you know, the person that's there with you and for you through, you know, those through that come up,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. I think about somebody like LeBron James and his wife. You'll never hear anything about his wife, but she been there. She was there when he was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
when the dude ain't
Mm-hmm.
have a dime to his name. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
has been. It wasn't a thing where she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he might make it to the league, and he might do this, and he
Mm-hmm.
might do that." And I'll latch on to somebody that's
Mm-hmm.
better, or I see somebody that's better and move on that. And his career, you know, has his career. I mean, he went. I mean, he's the exception. Let's be real. Because he went straight from high school to the NBA, so
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like special. But if you take another NBA player that a young lady dumped him before went drafted. He didn't get drafted like a certain level, whatever. With it. And he is now a doing very well in the NBA. Got a nice fat contract, you know. But you
Mm-hmm.
get these people that, you know, that think that, oh, you know, they're just willing that and maybe not do that journey with you. And you know, they're willing to stick it out through those tough times, because making it in any industry, or making it in life, any career, whatever, is never easy. So having somebody that's down for you, and we talk, I think, Kendall, you and I talk about it all the time. Pauletta Washington,
Mm-hmm.
Denzel's career wasn't always what it is. You know, so she was like, "Look, I we got this. We going. I believe
Mm-hmm.
in you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stick with you." You know,
Mm-hmm.
to find when you find somebody that's willing to stick with you versus wanting, like you were saying, Kendall, always wanting to come up. That says more about them than it does about you. I'm gonna be honest with you,
Yeah.
and they'll be the ones that lose,
Yeah.
just Sister Law. She thought it
Yeah.
was,
And
hey,
Samuel
I mean,
Jackson wife too, Latonya.
yes,
Latanya
absolutely,
Richardson.
Sam
absolutely,
Latanya Richardson
absolutely.
don't play. They've been married
Yep.
longer than everybody. They've been married forever.
Yeah, I mean,
forever ever.
and
She was
even
mean in Fighting
Evie,
Temptations, though.
and
She was good
even
and
Cookie
great.
Johnson. You
Yep.
know, I don't know
Now
if I don't
her
know if
book.
y'all watched
Ooh,
if y'all watched that Magic Johnson documentary. Magic put Cookie through some stuff.
I read her book. She did an
Did you?
autobiography about 5 years ago, and I was like,
Okay, yeah. Magic put her through some stuff, and yeah, he holding on to her like he better give her everything she
right.
wants,
I got
everything.
I gotta watch. What is the doc? Is the documentary on
Yeah,
Netflix?
it's They Call Me Magic. It's on it may be on I believe it came on Prime when I watched it. Um I don't know if it's on Netflix or one
Because
of
I
the other ones.
remember
You might be
that.
able to find it on
I
one of the
forgot.
other ones too. But
I
but
forgot
yeah,
to
but
watch that.
a lot of sisters are like sister. They want to come up. They want the easy money.
But they also be grinding with you too, though.
They be what with
They
me?
also be grinding with you too. Like we saying Cookie and Pauletta and
Right,
Latanya.
right.
That's
I
interesting.
think it's
You know.
50-50. You got half of the population of women that really are looking for that almighty dollar to be taken care of. And I mean taken care of to where they don't have to do even the duties of relationship. They just looking for the actual come up, and then you maybe have 50% that, you know, I don't like to use the term ride or die, but you have those everlasting women that see you for you. And even if your potential becomes greater, we still remember the you that we fell in love with, the person. And it's not about what you make and even the career moves that, you know, take place later on in life. You heartfully care for that person. And when you can find someone young between 25 and 30 and you sustain, that's God given. Because, you know, flesh is easy to be deterred. I tell people I love my husband, but I still got eyes. So there's still a lot of fine men out there that I still look at.
But thinking about that, she loved him, but she wanted her career more. Now, how many times has that happened? She loved him, no question. He rode with her. She rode with him, no question. But that fame is a beast. Look at people now trying to get 5 minutes of fame. That fame is a beast. She wanted to be successful as a singer, and she put everything on the line, and it cost her life.
Let me ask you this: do you think that she loved him? And I'm saying it's like, okay, you said she loved him, but if she loved him, would she have allowed? Even her wanting the fame that she wanted, would she have allowed Levi to come and take her away from?
Yes.
Really?
I think she grew from him. I think she may have loved him, but she grew from him. It's like her.
Yeah.
As she grew, even as a woman, in her mind, he could not tap into her womanness. So when she found Satin to her tapped into her womanness.
She was just trying to.
What's that mean? What's that mean, Basine?
Her womanness.
Break that down. Yeah, break that down for me.
You know what? I'm gonna break it down in words, Leroy, but you still will never really get it because you're not a woman.
Right. That's exactly why I asked. That's exactly why I asked.
that womanness is when we go through that maturity. And we have an inkling of what we want to feel and how we want to be felt. And when you get it as a teen, you connect it with somebody, but then you grow from them in that womanness that is like, no, you're not tapping into my maturity. So when we get that, like my Lord say, No, it was Bill Bellamy. When you get that feeling that make you say ooh, and you know you get that man that make you do that, that's a part of that womanly starting. So when you don't get it from the next man and the next man and the next man, unfortunately, that causes you to be more promiscuous in that womanliness, and that womanliness has to be handled. And if it's not handled right with your upbringing, then you can overdo that womanliness with too many people. And like we saying now with the movie, it cost her life with her stepping into her womanhood, thinking that, oh, my womanhood deserves a man, and whatever form of man that comes in, if it comes in money, that was her perk. That man came in the form of money. And so to me, that's what she connected to, the manliness of him and the money, not the personality, not the character.
All right, so I agree with that. And to answer your question, Leroy, I agree with Basine said, but I want to answer the question that Leroy asked before you answered that. He asked, could she still love him? Does she really love him if she went with Satin and left him? And I said,
I think it was a young love. I really think it was a young love. Go ahead.
Let me answer. So that's when you just answered, you gave that version of it. I want to give a different version of it. Yes, she did still love him. However, she wanted to be successful because remember, she had the issues with her mom, right? And her mom trying to get her mom to understand that she's grown, she's a woman, she can be a singer, she can be a star, she can do this. So she had something to prove to her mother, she had something to prove to herself. So he, like Basine said, that was young love, and he saw her and he believed in her and everything, but she was moving into a next phase of her life, and she felt like she was fighting for her life, literally, at first. So she wanted to be the star. She wanted to make something of herself, and she found a way in Satin where she could get it because he had the means to make certain things happen. So
right,
she forgot about that love. That love ain't getting me where I need to be. So now that little love that you giving ain't giving where I need to be. And she really was like one of those tortured souls. Didn't she seem like that? Like she seemed like a tortured soul where she was trying to figure it out and life was heavy on her. And you can
I think she even had them daddy issues too, because when you don't have that father around, you feel that form of abandonment. That, okay, daddy not even around to show me the kind of man that I should get. So so she saw something in him that he can give that the other one, because remember, he was trying to make her successful, but he took her as far as he could. But she had, and then the mom was on her back, so she felt like she had something that he could give it to her. And then when he was beating her, he was still getting the gigs and had the money. So like a lot of women covering their eyes with the makeup and still going out there and doing it. And then she was too far deep, too far gone. Go ahead, Libra.
No, I follow both of y'all and what you're saying, and that makes sense what you're saying about grow. I mean, and I guess it goes down to some people were meant to be in your life for a season, and then some people were meant to be there for for a reason. They're there for a season or a reason, and then some for a lifetime, that type of thing. And I guess sister had, I guess, maturity wise, she thought she had outgrown Levi, and she outgrew Levi because she wanted the fame more than she wanted the love that Levi was getting her.
Yeah, because that won't get her nowhere.
And even with why do I keep wanting to say Satan instead of Satin?
Think of the material.
Why
they just look like it.
But wanted you to do that to see the duality.
The duality of it, right? Yeah, that's so true. I mean, and you both were right about she was willing to sacrifice the love for what she wanted financially, what she wanted, the fame. She wanted the fame and was willing to give up anything in order to be able to give it, even her soul, which she wound up.
Well, you remember the saying that we say now, love don't pay the bills. That's the saying that's done now. And when the song came out, ain't nothing going on but the rent.
Got to have a J.O.B. just to
that was a theme song, wasn't it? I got to have a J.O.B.
I heard on my show one day that underrated, the one hit wonder. She was on that list.
Ooh, yeah. So it, and a lot of people, both men and women, don't necessarily understand sometimes what the cost of fame can be. And even, I know we're talking about movie, but really quickly, even Kobe Bryant talked about it. He was so focused on becoming the greatest basketball player. He sacrificed his family. I mean, he put everybody out, because he was that late. He wanted that so bad. And it can cost us. Now he didn't, now he had, he had his bite. He had the one mistake that he made with the girl out there in Colorado, but after that, there was nothing. He was so focused on his career, he wasn't going to let anything deter him from getting to that.
And he wanted to lose Vanessa again. Let's keep it real.
Say it again.
And he didn't want to lose Vanessa again. Let's keep it real.
But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, she wasn't going nowhere. She wasn't. You
don't think? Oh, that's a whole other show.
Yeah, she was.
And Leroy, I'm gonna give you an example, maybe physically, how you can understand the bubblegum love and the double mint.
I like that. Okay, I like that. I like that comparison.
When you had that bubblegum for a minute, it's juicy.
Right.
And then once it gets flat, it's like,
it's
do I want that taste again? Right. But when you get some double mint, I don't care how flat that double mint get, you can still pop it.
You can chew it all day.
Still pop it and click it in them teeth.
That's a good analogy, though, too.
So let's as we get towards the end, let's just talk about. So this, of course, was, a lot of people may not know, this was this was loosely about the Supremes. I don't know if y'all realize. So
really?
Supremes were there.
What was Dreamgirls?
I think it was from what I saw in a Motown documentary. I don't know which one it was and who was speaking, but I heard it said that it was based off the trios of the women in Motown.
Okay.
As far as just the lifestyles that kind of intertwined from fictional to reality. Mm-hmm. And when I saw
let me just finish.
Was it Marvel? Who's the Marvelettes? What's the first name with the Marvelettes? It was a first name.
Mary Wells.
Somebody in the
Mary Wells.
Yeah, she's probably the most noted.
Okay, so when they had that first name and then the second name for the girl group, like they had Diana Ross and the Supremes, when they finally did that, that's when the comparison kind of started when the movie came out. That people were, somebody in Motown said that people were saying that it was depicting what Motown did with their women,
right?
Kind of putting someone else in the shadow. And I think one of the girls in the Supremes did wind up going to alcohol abuse. Right. So that was something.
Let me just finish my point so I can go along. Because we're at the end. So I just wanted to say, and then you could give your opinion. So the film's story and the plot, they weren't heavily inspired by a lot of the different groups, a lot of the stuff that they've gone through, and especially they said the Supremes, they tried to, because you can't straight up. Now, Leroy is absolutely right. Dreamgirls was directly derived from the Supremes. So this one is heavily influenced by the girl groups of that time, and they named in particularly the Supremes. They probably named them in particularly because they were the biggest, right? So the film mainly introduced new faces, as we talked about it, so they can keep the budget low of $1 million. So they call that low. Over 2,000 women auditioned for the role of Sparkle. In the end, of course, we know Irene Cara. I would love to know who else. They don't have
who auditioned for that.
I was looking.
Everybody auditioned. Well, shoot, 2,000 women. Everybody auditioned for that role back then.
Right. So she became, of course, the film's breakout star, which went into acting in films such as Fame. The other castmates, the trio combined, blah, 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 blah. Let me just go into this. So the music, and we're going to talk about that before we end, because we got to talk about the movie music. All the music was done by Mr. Curtis Mayfield. And none of the actors cast were well known at all. Everybody was newcomers in that movie. So then they all went on to have some success. All right, Leroy, you want to start off about the music?
Well, that's probably how they kept the budget to $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they got away with paying Curtis Mayfield what they paid him, because he was
most of the million.
Right. He was it back in the 70s. That was Superfly. All of I'm your pusher. He was Mr. R&B back then in the 70s.
Yeah.
Wow.
One more trivia. So you talking about R&B and all of that. So Bruce Surtees, right? He was a cinematographer on this film. Lester Wilson was the choreographer of the movie. And guess who his assistant was in 1976? Michael Peters. Michael Peters, who later did Beat It and Thriller for Michael Jackson. He was a nobody on there. So that goes to show you.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a part of the intro, the beginning of the movie, doing some kind of thing with a cape or something on.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is definitely. I mean, it's an eye opener. I'm waiting to see what the budget was for Cooley High.
Ooh, we gotta do that, and we definitely, because we talked about this last year. Claudine is one of my favorite all-time movies. We gotta talk
One of
about
my favorite, yeah.
Claudine.
Really?
One of my
And
favorite.
Curtis Mayfield did that. Matter of fact, we could probably do a slow
No,
movie
Gladys
just
Knight
with
and Gladys Knight did every
Curtis
song.
Mayfield doing the soundtrack.
Because
You don't know?
Gladys Knight did every song on Claudine. Every
Right.
song was
But
Gladys.
Curtis Mayfield did the scoring. Or was it Quincy Jones? To me, Quincy Jones and Curtis Mayfield
They was doing
seem
it.
like they kind of neck and neck as far as doing the scores for movies. Because I know Quincy Jones did Wiz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Curtis Mayfield, even though Gladys, I'm trying to save it. I will talk offline about it. But Gladys Knight sang all the songs. Somebody else composed it. We talk about that. So we're going to entice people to try to come back for Claudine. But either one of you want to say, I'll let you guys get the final words on Sparkle, and then we'll roll out.
We'll let the birthday girl go.
Well, my favorite part of the movie is when they start singing "Look into Your Heart." Woo! Take self-inventory.
I want to play them.
As a little girl, if I really think about it, as a little girl, that kind of put a signature on my heart.
Wow.
That unless you check yourself, you can't be good for nobody else. And the way they sang that together and looked into each other's eyes, it's like you saw that love from a deeper perspective from everything that already happened. And it's like they looked at each other with a balance and a compatibility of I got you, you got me.
Yeah. And
we have each other because we're stronger together. That's what that song to me signifies.
And ooh, that's deep, because that's one of my songs on there. And then to have Aretha Franklin singing, giving him something he could feel, later being redone by En Vogue, like whew. But go ahead, Leroy. Did you want to say?
No, I think that's powerful what Basine just said, because you think about a young girl looking at this movie. And even now, even watching the original or the remake of it, watching that movie as a little girl and being able to see like you were saying, what the importance of self-imagery, the importance of the choices that you make and who you want to be with, not letting fame be what you want more than anything else, and the cost of it. So I love this the movie Sparkle. It has so many stories within the story, so many lessons that came out of this, even in 1976. You know, think about that, 1976. That's deep.
I was 6 years old. I don't think I saw it in 79 though. I don't think I saw it when it first came out. I think I was 9. It was probably right before I turned 10 years old that I actually saw it.
Really? Yeah. And I mean, just to have I
think I was movie. 5. You 6, I was 5.
I was 7.
You ain't gotta let anybody know you're younger than me.
5, 6, 7. 6, 7.
No, you said no in 70. You said in 76 you were 6.
But because
I'm older than you.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. I had to be 8 then. No,
I'm talking
5.
No, I'm talking about Basine.
Oh,
Basine said she in 76 you were 6 years old, right?
Yes.
Okay,
but I didn't see it until I was 9.
Right, you said you didn't see it until you were 9. I was gonna be 10. I was 10 in 79. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm older than you.
Right. Because I was 5.
Right.
I didn't see it until I was 20.
Right.
Because I couldn't watch movies like that at 9. You kidding me? I couldn't. No. My mom was not having that. Or 5. Imagine me watching it at 5.
This was definitely.
Well, see, back then, if it came on TV, matter of fact, I think it came on Channel 5. I think because it came on TV and it wasn't a VHS tape I was popping in.
Right. It was blotted out. All the bad stuff was blotted out.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, they didn't even have cursing. I don't even think they showed.
Nope.
I definitely know they didn't show no nudity back then.
Nah, they didn't have the cursing.
I love Sticks and Sparkle though, how they rode all the way to the end, how they were, and how he was like very supportive of her and her dream. Because then you always have, even back then, like it's the man's dream that the woman got to chase behind. You know what I mean? They always have those narratives, especially back then. But how
they still trying to do that now.
See? And how they work together to build her dream. And she didn't treat him like sister treated Levi.
Right. She treated. See, that's what I'm talking about. Now, see,
respect.
I know we got to go, but you see the difference between Sparkle and Sticks and Sister and Levi, and why I asked you that question about did she love him? Sparkle loved Sticks,
but hers was pure. Like she had a different purity. Sister wanted to be street. She was more kind of reserved, and her mother kind of treated her differently. Sister wanted to come out the box, and Sparkle was like, no, we can't do it. We have to do. She was more reserved. So then she got the same kind of vibe that she gave. But because Sister was troubled, she was looking, she couldn't be at peace or at ease. So she had to keep going, and she ended up killing herself by being in that situation. Not suicide, but you know what I mean.
Right.
It's deep. Like you said, it's a lot of things. I don't know which one of y'all said. I think they say it's a lot of lessons in that. There's a lot of lessons. I think you said that, Leroy.
No doubt. Right.
So go ahead, ask her the final question, Leroy. You wanted to know if Basine, what she thought.
Oh yeah, which one, the original or the remake? Which one you going with?
To answer that question, I have the original on DVD.
I told you she's gonna pick the original.
I've seen the remake. I can honestly say Jordan Sparks didn't make me want to watch the remake. Whitney Houston did.
Wow. Kendall said the same thing.
Whitney Houston is the reason why I watched, because in my mind, nothing could top the original. For me, it shouldn't have been a remake, but Whitney being a part of it and knowing her age, knowing how she would be able to add even from a maturity, level as far as a woman. That's what made me watch the remake.
That's what I said. You weren't even watching. That's what I said. Like Jordan Spark, like I don't care. And this is no diss to any of those amazingly talented people. I just want to be clear. This is no diss to anybody who loves the remake. It's not. But for me, in my house, no, I'm just joking. But seeing that movie, I saw it on the strength of Whitney Houston, knowing her history and her loving that movie and her trying to get it made for like a decade. And I was like, okay, Sparkle was one of my movies. I love the movies, love the soundtrack. Whitney's in it. I'm going. Right. So then when I go, it's entertaining if it was standing alone on its own. You get what I'm saying? But to be a remake of it made you look at things differently. Now, some remakes are really, really good. But then I was like, I wasn't really impressed with Jordan Sparks. So let me ask you this as we end. This show will be 5 hours long. So let me ask you this. So, and you may agree with Leroy or you may agree with me. You didn't see the beginning. Whitney Houston wanted Aaliyah to do it. But it took 10 years to make, and Aaliyah had passed. Who do you think would have done a better job, Aaliyah or Jordan Sparks?
I could really see Aaliyah doing that role because even when she did, was it Romeo Must Die? I saw a talent in her that I think she could have pulled that remake off.
I do too. That was my opinion. And Leroy said he don't see it. I could see it because I can see the innocence, the sexiness, all the things that Sparkle went through. You know, she started off young and innocent. I can see Aaliyah doing that. And then she went up to like the talent. I can see that. Then she almost was sexy. I can see Aaliyah with that little swoop.
Going into that womanhood.
I can see that. And I was trying to tell Leroy, and Leroy is probably not the only person that thinks this, because they listen to Aaliyah's songs. And I was telling Leroy that the way they produce it, they want you to sing it a certain way. You got to have a certain vibe. But I was telling Leroy to, when he gets a chance, to kind of like Google, because she will shock you that she could really belt those out. Because Leroy was saying, I don't know if she could do that, because Jordan Sparks, American Idol, we already know she could blow. We've seen the opportunity in the range, but I don't think we saw that with Aaliyah because of the songs, but she could actually sing. And that's what Leroy was like, I don't know if she could have pulled that off. But I was like, Google some of the times where she was singing, not her song, not like One in a Million and If Your Girl Only Knew, but like her voice. But I could see it. I could see it. And I guess Whitney could too. And it's a shame that Whitney and Aaliyah are not here.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
definitely deep. Yeah. But like I said, the original, I like the original better than the remake too. I'm be honest with you. And like you said, there's just some movies that need to be left alone, so to speak. Just like some songs need to be left alone. You know, because they're good by themselves.
Did you see the thing that's going around, y'all, where every song in Luther Vandross' catalog was sang by somebody else? Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen it, but him and Will Downing have done so many remakes, but they were masterful at making those remakes their own. I mean,
no idea.
Right. I mean, you just be like, wait a minute, hold up, that's been sung before?
Dionne Warwick sang House Is Not a Home. I thought that was Luther. And then Creep, wait a minute, Creep. It was like every hit that he had, some young guy was finding out. He was like, wait a minute. That one it was so funny, but it was like, he sang them so well, you forgot.
Yeah, they just really have. I mean, so.
And like we were saying earlier, when you brainstorm trying to think of something, it's like when you hear something you know you've heard before, but you can't tap in to where you heard it, and somebody else is remaking or putting that melody in there, and it's like, and I don't really find out sometimes until I listen to Pandora. And that song Dream, what's his name? The guy I really can't listen to a lot. The rapper Biggie did a remake of one of DeBarge's songs. And when I was listening to the DeBarge song, I was like, oh look, and Tupac too. Tupac has got some stuff in his music.
A lot of the hip hop artists from the 90s, they used music from the 70s and 80s. If you listen to the music were Puffy's Diddy, whatever you want to call himself now, that's what he did.
That's what he does. He's a remake master. He really
takes music and he infuses it with the hip hop, which is, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I think it's a great thing
because we dance to it,
right? You know, long as you paying them folks back then, you know, for those, for the use of their music and everything like that, do what you want to do, you know.
Yeah, I'm hoping a lot of people are starting to get those residuals.
Yeah.
People like Stephanie Mills and Anita Baker.
Yeah. Because they be broke, struggling for money, because ain't nobody, the same reason I started the show. This is good. Irene Cara. She was fighting to get her money, and she went blacklisted because she was fighting to get her money. Now they made all that money on the song Flashdance everywhere, commercials everywhere. And she tried to get what was simply hers. And now she sued them and won. Now they want to tell everybody don't hire her. That's so jacked up. Right. And that's what happens. These legends, like you talking about, like they are not making the money that the people who sampled and patted themselves after are making. Something's wrong with that.
Exactly. And something is wrong with it.
Yeah, and see that goes to show really quickly before we do close out. That goes to show the artists make sure that in those contracts you have that. Get your royalties. Make sure if you can work it like that, own your masters. Own your masters.
Important.
You know, own your masters. Ray Charles was the hero of it. Yeah, I got to own my masters.
Yeah, but you know,
own your masters.
And that's good advice. But you know the problem? Most people are like sister. They just want to be famous. They just want to make money. Yep. And
they want the off the top. Just give it to me off the top.
Just give it to me, and then, like you were saying,
Kendall,
right?
Exactly.
Right, but then they wind up, like you said, on later in years broke. They can't get any more money off of it.
And they turn 80 years old trying to make their money.
Right.
Nothing's wrong with church. You do it till you can't do it no more if that's your passion. Right. But some of them don't want to do it. They have to do it.
Right, exactly. And there's a difference, you know. All that hard work you put in on the front end, you should get the rewards of that on the back end of it.
Yep. Boom.
That's what that's all about.
Let's end with that. Let's sing happy birthday real quick.
Yes.
TV version. We're going to skip that. We're going to do all right, come on. Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
To the Leo girl, the Leo queen.
We need to take it on the road. So if you had one wish, Ray J, one wish. What would you wish?
My one wish is to hit that $1 billion Powerball.
I know that's right.
And life as I know it and those that I love will change.
Hey, I tell you what, we would have this show. We would have a show.
No, we wouldn't, because we wouldn't be able to find Daisy. We'd be like, where's Daisy at? She's gone. She on the island somewhere.
Look, y'all would have this show, and I would be looking at it from the island because y'all studio, your producers.
She'd be like, look, y'all can have what you want, but you got to do it down here.
Your cameraman.
We had 24 karat gold seats, Leroy. We be sitting like this. Crowns with diamonds.
Y'all be doing Grupo better than Oprah, okay?
Come on, we're filming live from Tahiti right now.
Absolutely.
We taking 3 months off. They be like 3 months. I ain't seen Leroy sit down do that show in 3 months.
But if you have liked, shared, and subscribed, you can always see the past shows.
Come on.
She know what it is. Go ahead.
Birthday girl, take us out. Everybody, thank you for watching. We leaving the end to Basine. If you haven't watched Sparkle, please do that. The 1976 version or the remake. Do both of them in the same day.
Just binge on both of them. Binge on both of them.
Binge on both. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think about Basine coming on. She's going to be coming at the end of every show. We gave her a little extra time today because, of course, it's her birthday.
It's her birthday.
God reward you and bless you in abundance, and may He keep His promise and give you everything your heart desires and what you need in this life. All right,
amen. I receive it. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Are you going to get the final word? No, you're getting the final word. Leroy, I love you. You my brother. Thank you for doing this. I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else but you. All right. If you want to say something, Leroy, and then Basine got the floor. I'm done.
Nope.
All right, Basine, what you got? Whatever you want to say. It could be about whatever. Just go on.
I want y'all to like, share, and subscribe. LSS. Do it abundantly. And when you share with others, tell them to share with others, because this show, more than just a movie, is MT Jam, and it is a jam to watch.
You better clip that, Kendall. You better clip that right there, and so that it can, and put it out there so that it can run over and over and over again.
I am, because I didn't know we was the jam to watch. I love it. All right, bye, everybody. Thank you for watching. God bless. Remember, you're a star. Don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.